First off, I want to thank the brave men and women who work behind the wall. I want to thank them on a national level because their job goes unrecognized.
How do they try to turn a guard?
Well, correctional officer. Sorry, I apologize. But correctional officer. How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi, host of Tier Talk. I saw a beautiful thing today I wanted to share with you guys. It just shows a great partnership between custody and civilian staff. Basically, understanding that we have to work together as one to get the mission done, and just that respect that we have to have for each other. I also have Russ Hamilton. He's going to chime in after I do my part of the video. I think Russ is going to provide a great perspective on how we have to balance each other's role. Like, we're here to help each other. But at the end of the day, obviously, safety and security is always paramount. We know that. We know that. But it can't always be used as a trump card to not give the civilians a chance to do what they have to get done as well. So it is a partnership. It's a working relationship. And that's part of what I saw that was beautiful today. So when we get back from our sponsor, I'm going to do my part of the video, and Russ is going to do his. And I think you guys will enjoy this because, again, it's just showing people the balanced perspective of what corrections really is and how we don't work in an isolated manner, that we work as a team. So, guys, if you haven't, the show Tier Talks for you brave men and women that work in corrections. So please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post a video. Stand by for our sponsor, and when we come back, I'll give my part of working together as one, and then stay after me, because then you're going to hear Russ. All right, stand by.
I wanted to attend a university that had an intelligence program. I wanted to look at problems different. I wanted to increase my critical thinking abilities. AMU offered those avenues to expand. Obtaining your degree as an adult, you're actually paying yourself and investing in yourself. You can't put a dollar on it. It's priceless. It's something that can never be taken away from you.
American Military University. Learn from the leader.
Thank you guys for listening to our sponsor. You know, I'm a true advocate for working with civilian staff and vice versa. Civilian staff working with custody. I'm a very big advocate on that. I believe that we need that partnership because we don't work in an isolated fashion. We do have our missions, yes, but ultimately it's for the same goal of the agency, which requires that work in partnership. The beautiful thing I saw today were two people that worked together as one in perfect unison, just a perfect dance, just working together. And it wasn't two unit officers working the same unit. It wasn't two civilian staffs working the same department. It was an officer and a civilian. They worked together for almost 20 years, and their dance together was beautiful. They understood each other's needs. They did whatever they could to meet each other's needs, and ultimately just had this great partnership. I'm sure when they were walking out, because they kind of have the same exit time, they're discussing stories of the day. So I think they developed a pretty good friendship. But the cool thing about that is the inmates see that, and they see that these two cannot be divided. They see that they're close, they interact, and their unit reflects it. It's a tight unit. And I have respect for that because I've always strived for that partnership between civilian and custody. It is so needed. That means that we have to sit at the table, and if we both have concerns, we have to exhaust all efforts to meet each other's concerns. And we do that by understanding each other's perspective. And with that understanding comes respect. I would love to know how your relationship is with the civilian staff, or vice versa, if you're a civilian staff, how your relationship is with custody. I would love to hear the positive stories because, again, working together as one is key to achieving the overall goal of the agency. But that was a beautiful thing to see today. That's reality. That means that can happen. It's not a dream. It can happen. I've discussed this in many videos before. Russ is going to touch on something that's very unique. He's going to touch on the importance of safety and security. Yes, safety and security is paramount. If corrections is an art, safety and security is the canvas in which that art is to be painted on. And the departments have to work in accordance with safety and security. But custody should never use safety and security as an excuse to not make an effort to work with the other departments. It's not a trump card to be played with that. It should be at all times an effort in good faith to see if you can help that department meet their needs. And if not, and there really is a safety and security concern, then explain to that department why it is a safety and security concern. If you're civilian side of things, understand that. But again, that's when great minds are at the table. They're listening to each other. They're trying to solve the mission or whatever the concern is, and they're not looking for excuses to not do the job. They're looking for ways to get the job done. That's the key. They're looking for ways to get the job done. Because anybody can come up with excuses. Anybody could not make the effort and say, nope, sorry, can't do that. Safety and security, without really looking into it and trying to make it work. That's what makes our job so complex. That's why a lot of people can't do our job, because we have to think on our feet. We have to deal with these constant changes. And I'll tell you one thing. In my career, I have seen frontline staff do some amazing, amazing things. And I know that they can accomplish almost anything if they put their mind to it and they're willing to exhaust every level to get that job done. And Russ knows that too. And that's why we thought about doing this video. Let's not work in isolation of each other. Let's work together. Because if we keep on saying no without really making that effort, we're going to build resistance. Resistance comes divide, and inmates come to conquer. Russ, what's your thoughts?
Hey there, True Talk fans and Keepers of Chaos people. Anyway, Russ Hamilton here, coming at you. Just thought I'd dash off a quick video concerning some subject matter that Anthony and I were discussing earlier today. So one of the things about being a correctional officer, sergeant, lieutenant, is that the particular facility, the institution that you're running, it absolutely 100% relies on being able to run in a safe and secure fashion. That's what we focus on. That's what we do. And, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. I like the job that I do to be the number one, most important, absolute top of the food chain thing that you've got going on there. That's one of the things that attracted me to and kept me in corrections all of those years. So it's a pretty safe bet that I think that most everyone else that deals in corrections, that has, you know, that officer job, sergeant, lieutenant, or whatever, feels pretty much the same way. We're definitely at the top of the food chain. Security, safety, number one thing that we do. Now, having said that, it's not the only thing that we do. And one of the things that tends to happen is we can get blinded to that one particular thing, to where we're not seeing what some of the other needs and some of the other competing necessities that goes on with other parts within that department. You know, the little subcategories like medical, education, maintenance, all those different things. You know, they're a part of our world too. And just because what we say goes with regard to security and safety doesn't mean that we should not try and look at things from the perspective of what those other units do. You know, it's real easy to just, you know, pull that trump card out and go ahead and just, whew, I'm just going to play that because safety and security, whew, that trumps everything, right? Well, you know what? It does. But that doesn't mean you should play that card out of order. Sometimes what that means is that you need to go that extra mile before we get to that point. If for no other reason, to try and just, you know, keep things peaceable between those two departments, or to try and reach out to these people and make them understand what it is that you're doing and why they can't get that inmate at this particular time because we've got an incident going, or because we've come across something that we think may be unsafe, or there might be a tool missing. You know, sometimes it's just easy to walk. I mean, we have the power to just walk right over these people and to just completely disregard a lot of what they're saying. But just because we can doesn't mean that we should. There is a time and place for that, because I've been involved in instances and incidents where, you know, food managers and other people were just going to disregard what was safe at the moment and put people, myself included, in a position to be hurt or killed because they were acting stupidly. So I'm not saying that you should not necessarily act, you know, in a quick, fast manner to try and head things off, because sometimes these people, they just don't understand, or they just haven't been trained, or they're just trying to buck what they think you're trying to do because they think you're on some little power trip. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. I'm sure that there's been a time or two where I've power tripped in that direction. The thing is that being in the position that we're in, we need to be the ones that have not just the big picture, but the complete big picture. We need to be looking at things from a standpoint of not just safety and security, but also all of the other things that surround that, such as rehabilitation, programs, medical needs, and those things. And we need to be much better, I feel, at reaching out to these departments and trying to give them a hand. Because you know what? No one is well served in an incident or facility where people are at odds with each other and they can't either find some common ground or they're just, they're just willing to, take that hill and die on it. That's not smart. That's not good, clear thinking. And in the end, those sort of things actually erode the safety and security that we claim that we care so much about. So when you view it from that standpoint, safety, security, yes, it's number one. But you know what? There are things that come after number one. It's not the universe in and of itself. It's not everything. It's not the only thing. It just happens to be the number one something. So anyway, just a little food for thought for you to think about when you're out there and you're having to, deal with these other sub-departments or units or however they're categorized in your particular facility, in that part of our whole job is making things run smoothly. Because something that's running smoothly is less apt to run into that condition that erodes our safety and security. So anyway, hope everyone will take this under advisement. Think about the next time that you can reach out to that teacher, to that doctor, to that nurse, to that food services person, to that maintenance guy, and help them with the job that they're doing and pass on a little bit of knowledge and information about some of the things that they should be watching out for that they're blind to because they haven't been trained and they haven't been put in the position of an officer before. So take care, people. See you later.